Hey there, and welcome to the monthly energy update with Qi Flow with Jo. Well, this month I'm going to be talking about improving digestion. For some people, digestion can be bloating, cramps, gas. For others, it can be constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. There's such a range of digestive complaints and extreme pain that people suffer from. So I'm going to share with you through Chinese medicine what I know helps the body. With acupressure, I'm going to show you some acupressure points. I'm going to talk a little bit about food and also demonstrate some Qi Gong exercises, some brilliant breathing and movement exercises that you can do to really help improve your digestion. All through the month of September, this is going to be our focus in Qi Flow with Jo. If you want to know more about how Chinese medicine and the seasons and the organs and colors and emotions all work together in the 5-element system, then subscribe and follow along and join me every month for these updates of where we're moving through the cycle of the year. So I'm going to start because food and digestion starts outside of the body. It doesn't just start with the food that we've ingested. It starts way before that. Before, when we're even thinking about food, our stomach starts to produce hormones which then help produce the saliva. And that saliva is also part of the digestive process. So often we think of the intestines and really low down here, but in Chinese medicine, we'd also think about the stomach and the spleen. So way before we even put anything in our mouths. And the stomach and the spleen is linked to the late summer. So we're talking kind of August, September. This is when the spleen and the stomach energy foods are at their height. We're talking orange color. So we're talking pumpkin, squashes. We're thinking harvest festival. So we're thinking whole grains. We're thinking kind of sweet little orange lentils, yellow split peas. And there's no coincidence that I said the word sweet, because for each of the organs which are paired together, there is a flavor. So the flavor for the stomach and the spleen would be the sweet flavor. But if we overconsume the sweet flavor, it weakens the spleen pancreas. And we know this in Western medicine because that really impairs our insulin function and our insulin production, which helps to lower our blood sugar levels. Okay, so we need to eat not too many refined carbs, not too many refined sugars. We want to eat whole grains. So think of kind of bulgur wheat, think of buckwheat. These are not necessarily grains. They are often, the buckwheat is actually a ground up seed. And what do we need to do for the stomach and the spleen is we need to chew. So we've got all that saliva and we need to chew because your stomach doesn't have teeth. So to improve your digestion function, tip number 1, chew your food. The saliva in your mouth actually helps to break down the food before it gets to your stomach. And if you have the energy of the stomach should be going down and the energy of the spleen comes up to meet it in the midline. And if you have weak stomach energy, instead of the energy going down, it's going to come up and you're going to get reflux, indigestion, burping, belching. This kind of problem would be due to a weak spleen energy. And then after a weak stomach energy, after the stomach has digested through this chewing and it's gone down and it's into the stomach, then the spleen, it moves on to the spleen, and the spleen takes takes the food, sends what you don't want to the intestines to be released, and assimilates what you do need. Now, physically, this is taking up the nutrients. So your spleen has to be really nice and strong for that. But emotionally, you also need to have gratitude and time to actually kind of absorb and assimilate your food. What I'd like you to do is when your food is on your plate or your bowl in front of you, just take a breath. Take a mindful breath and look at your food. before you eat it. Give your body time to register the fact you're about to eat. This is going to have an impact on your digestion. So the spleen, not too many sugars, not too many refined carbohydrates. And the time of day for the spleen is early in the morning. You know, so you want a good breakfast. And if you're going to have a good breakfast, say you're having porridge, make sure you have some seeds and some nuts with that, so you've got a good protein base to keep you full for the day. Then after the spleen, we move on into the intestine, so the large intestine. And really, there's a phrase in Chinese medicine that is all disease starts in the large intestine. So one of the things that you will notice first off, if your system is out of balance, is that you might have constipation, diarrhea. Your poos might be pebbly, or they might be loose. They might be kind of greasy or gray looking. So this is the first way to tell what's going on inside your body, is what leaves your body. So be aware very much of your stool health. And I'm going to show you a really great point now to really help stool health, which is large intestine 4. So large intestine 4, you don't do if you're pregnant, because this is really about letting go. But you don't want to let go if you are pregnant with a baby in the uterus. So don't do this point if you're pregnant. And you have 2 hands, so you want to do it on both sides, okay? So large intestine 11, not at all. Large intestine 4. So find your thumb and your index finger together, and where the mountain is, the top of the mountain, find the top of the mountain and just release, opening the web, and then take your thumb and begin to massage. And people often say, how long? It depends on how this feels for you. This is not a button. What I want you to do is press. When you find the resistance, just leave your thumb hanging there and just feel the point itself release and relax. See if you can actually connect with your intestines as you're doing this, and find the relaxation through your digestion system. Maybe I can feel that really moving this area here. I haven't long had lunch, and Zoom was not playing ball, so my stomach was really quite tense before doing this video. So pressing this point now, I can feel that area here begin to relax. You've got 2 fingers. No, you haven't. You've got 2 hands. You got 10 fingers. And so come to the other side, thumb, index finger. You've got the top of the mountain. Release and press and hold. Now, if this point feels really empty, I want you to just hold it and imagine your energy coming to meet that point. And again, connect in with your belly. Connect in with your body and see what response your body is having to this system. Massage. You can massage the whole of that area there, large intestine 4. You can even, the large intestine then moves up over that big muscle right to the crease of the elbow. So the next one I want you to do is another large intestine point. So find the crease of the elbow, press, and hold, and we can rub into here, improving and warming the digestion. Let's try that on the other side. So here's the crease, over we come, find that point here, the large intestine point, activating the whole of the large intestine meridian, helping to release and let go. And this big muscle here, massage, rub, warm that point up. This is a really big muscle in the body, and it can become very, very tight. So we're talking about the large intestine now, and the partner organ for the large intestine is the lung. And you might be thinking, well, what has that got to do with digestion? It's got everything to do with digestion in Chinese medicine. So we've moved from the stomach and the spleen, which are late summer, and we move around the seasonal clock into the autumn. And the autumn, the organs for the autumn are the lung and the large intestine. And this is responsible for your immune system. And as we know, the large intestine has got a huge microbiome. It regulates your immune system. So, you know, we're all told to keep our immune system really healthy by feeding the gut. So one thing you can eat, obviously, is plenty of fermented foods. And in my upcoming talk, Recipes in My Kitchen, which we'll be doing, which is free for members of Qi Flow with Jo, you'll be in my kitchen, and I'm going to be teaching you how to make kimchi and other wonderful probiotic foods, all for your large intestine. But right now I'm going to show you a Qi Gong move for your large intestine, and it includes your lungs, and it's called wave breathing. So I'm just going to get a little bit more comfortable, a bit more away from the camera. So obviously here's your lung. What I want you to do is I want you to put your one hand on your lower belly and one hand on your upper lungs. Now just check in. How do you breathe? How are you breathing? Are you breathing with your top hand coming up, or are you breathing with your bottom hand coming in and out? You should be breathing down here. There's a muscle here called the diaphragm. And if we're not breathing properly, that diaphragm, which should be at the size of a kind of disc about that big, sitting horizontally in just underneath the ribs, if we're not breathing properly, that can shrink down to be the size of a pea. And part of the job of the diaphragm when you breathe in is to massage and bring blood flow to your large intestine. That's part of its job, is when you breathe in, the diaphragm comes down, and when you breathe out, the diaphragm comes back up. And it's going to give you an internal massage, and it's going to help with your digestion. So this is called wave breathing. You can do this sitting at a desk. You can do it wherever you like. You can do it in the supermarket queue, just to check how you're breathing. So one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Inhale, big belly, big Father Christmas belly. Exhale, send the belly button back to the spine. Inhale. Exhale, belly button back to the spine. Inhale, one more big belly. Exhale, belly button back to the spine. Now, can you see that that's already starting to move this hand up here? So I'm going to breathe in, and I'm going to come up with a wave, and I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to let the chest come down in a concave way, and I'm going to let that massage all the lower belly. And then I'm going to inhale, the belly's going to open up, the chest's going to open up, and then I'm going to exhale, sink it all down. Inhale, exhale. From the side, I'm going to show you from the side. So from the side, inhale, big belly. Exhale. Inhale, big belly. Up through the chest. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now try without looking at the cameras. Try without looking at the screen, just checking into the body. Inhale, breathing in. Exhale. And feel that there's a whole wave going on. And just release, bring both of your hands just to your lower belly. Just massage here and see if you can feel the relaxation coming through the diaphragm here. So if you have finding yourself very tense when you eat, very anxious, if you're very stressed, if you're eating on the go, if you eat a sandwich and then you look around going, where is that sandwich? I don't even remember eating it. It's time to slow it down. So that wave breathing can feel a little bit of off. You're like, really? I feel like this is wrong. But it's really not. Inhaling and exhaling, inhaling through the belly, Bringing your hands down to your large intestine. And I'm going to show you one more point here, which is CV12. So finding your belly button, putting your palm over the top, and finding the point over here, CV12. This is a great point, especially if you find yourself very tense and you're not digesting well, you've got acid reflux, or you've got cramps or bloating. You can use your fingers, but even if that's too sore to press, hold your hands over that point and feel the warmth coming through the center of your palms right into that point. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, big belly. Exhaling. Letting the body soften and relax. That CV12 is a fantastic point for digestion. This CV12 point is fantastic for really balancing the stomach and spleen. And the emotion for stomach and spleen is anxiety and worry. For the lung and the large intestine, it's disconnection and feeling isolated and alone. And you can feel how both of those would really make the whole body tense up. So finding the belly button, putting your palm over the top and just here, holding here. In other traditions, you might know this as the solar plexus. So just holding it, massaging it, really going to help to bring a lot of balance to the body. So the stomach energy, it'll help if you've got reflux, nausea, vomiting. It'll also strengthen and tonify the spleen and relax the diaphragm so that your lung and large intestine are talking better to each other. And as to the foods to eat, well, it really depends on what condition you have. But I wanted to talk about two different food types. So one of them is ginger and the other one is mint. They're both very traditionally used for calming the stomach, but they would have very different energetic properties. So I wanted to give you some kind of idea of the different types of food that we can use. So when you eat ginger, either cooked or raw, think about how that makes you feel. It's quite warming and it kind of moves things and it's quite potent and it's quite pungent, and pungent is the flavor that we're looking for the lung and the large intestine. This pungent aroma, if you think about onions, garlic, leeks, scallions, all of these are pungent in flavor and they help to move the mucous membranes. You know, your eyes water, your nose might run. It's opening up the lung and having a really great effect on the immune system and getting the large intestine to move. So pungent flavors such as ginger work fantastically for really helping with the immune system and moving the large intestine. Now, mint, if you think about when you eat mint or you drink mint, it's quite cooling. So it's wonderfully expansive. When you drink mint, you can feel everything kind of opening, or if you sniff mint, you can kind of feel all of the vapors expanding and opening, but in a more cool way. So what I want you to do is experiment with your food. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it yang? Is it yin? What's it going to do for my body? Is it making me feel more expansive, or is it contracting the body? So we go into depth more in this in Qi Flow with Jo in September. I'll hope you join me for the month and see me live in my kitchen doing recipes from my kitchen and join in all the acupressure and the Qi Gong movements. May you be happy and may you be well. May I be happy, may I be well. May all beings everywhere be happy, safe and well. And remember, this is a new thing, the energy update with Qi Flow with Jo. If you've liked it, subscribe and follow. And there's a partner to this called Ask Me Anything. So twice in the month, we'll have a Qi Flow update, and then we'll move to an Ask Me Anything, where you can send me in your questions and I'll respond with a video showing you acupressure, Qi Gong, and food medicine. Have a beautiful Qi-filled day.